not gay. No, if you have a homo component, you're gay. Just like if you have an arthritic component, you have arthritis.
Yeah.
There's no What do you mean? There's not arthritic component.
His knees are fucked.
You haven't exactly.
So
If your trainer is telling you, you have gay broken knees. You chase gay dudes and now your knee hurts. So yeah, if your own trainer that you train with,
I don't know how you got there, but I feel you.
You know what I'm saying though? I'm just saying if your trainer that you work out with says you don't have arthritis, but you have an
dollar.
It's about poop dollars on the football podcast.
Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Okay.
We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We're back. Classic. We are back. We are back. We are getting
Fantasy football.
back.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have. We're the three best friends that anyone could have. We're the three best friends that anyone could have. And we'll never, ever leave each other.
Yo. Welcome back. Season 2. We are back. Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. Well, we're just a couple of average bros with above average fantasy football knowledge. As always, it's your boy T. Here with Mr. Mike, a.k.a. Mr. Miyagi, a.k.a. the Mad Scientist, a.k.a.
well, you're a bandit, you're badass always.
All right.
We got Anthony Amax. Well, you don't like to be called Amax. What's that? What am I calling
I'm
you?
Chippendale's finest right
We
now,
got
right?
the Chippendales Magic Mike himself here, live in the flesh.
I'm bringing
with the most
Bringing
starchy.
sexy back over
Wait,
here.
stand up because your
fantasy
laptop's
football.
blocking.
He's got the starchy.
You gotta stand up.
Suspenders. Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
your suspenders light
Ooh,
up.
he's
Ooh,
a
they're
litty.
flashing.
He's a litty.
I don't know if it's picking it up, but you know what?
it's Liddy boy.
Oh, there you go. Okay, you can see
That's
it.
completely
leave them on the whole
vanity.
time.
If not-
How much did you pay for those?
It's
Really
free
quick.
for the banquet.
Free for the bank.
Whoa, free from the banquet.
Yeah.
We got a
we don't make
special,
enough yet, so
Special guest on the podcast today, the Messiah,
What's happening?
a.k.a. Andre Navarro. Your nickname is Andre Navarro. I'm calling you the Messiah.
I don't have a middle name, so Messiah, I'll take it as long as I'm not the
The
one that's giving
Messiah.
it.
How did we come up with the nickname Messiah? Why do I call you the Messiah? Do you remember?
Crazy calls, maybe some crazy sports bets calls or something. I don't know.
I think what we do is we play poker and you'd be like 7 of hearts and it'd
For
be like
sure.
bam 7 of hearts and it'd be like you're
Yep.
like
And it would never help me out, so I would fucking lose.
yep.
But yeah, appreciate y'all having me back. Get it cracking season 2.
So the Messiah's in the house. He's the what'd you call him, Mike?
The rookie correspondent.
Rookie correspondent.
yeah, all these names, bro.
Man, I'll take that one.
I mean, if anybody's going to be the rookie correspondent for the Average Bros podcast, who is going to be it?
It's gonna be the Messiah, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll take it. We're gonna ride.
Bro, if Mike can have 7 nicknames,
Mike just gives himself
Jay can have
nicknames.
2.
Yeah. if Miss Isabella's around, I can have whatever name I want.
Mrs. Isabella. We'll get to her later. though.
Yeah,
she's a fan favorite.
Yeah, we'll get to her.
She's a dime. She's a
So
dime.
welcome, season 2, Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast.
What episode of season 2 is this?
Episode 1, Return of the Average Bros.
Just choking your own
He's
beer.
excited. Oh,
Mike's excited. He's so excited. He's all choked
Hopefully, I
up
make it
on
to
it.
episode 2.
wait, he's choking on a beer, and T, we have a beer bet that you can
Calling me
honor.
out on a beer bet from
Unfinished beer
There's
bet.
4 blue mountains. You can pick any one of those.
It could be the bluest, the not bluest.
All right, so what is this beer bet I'm losing here? Because we're contradicting.
I'm trying.
He's looking it up right now. It's Mark Ingram.
Well, that's
Yeah, it was a Mark Ingram bet. We got a finesse on this from last year.
Well,
My shit's frozen.
All right, so if you're new to the podcast,
It's like
we
Elsa.
do.
What are you looking up?
I don't know. My computer's like Elsa.
Mark it.
All right, well, if you're new to the podcast, we do beer bets around here. So we'll bet the boys, and we'll just kind of you
gotta
lose,
house it, though.
You chug a beer.
You got to house it, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's I'm Tyreek Hilling the fuck out of this beer right now, dude.
I already
Just
have
the
beer
house,
bets
dude.
in mind.
What am I
So-
looking up? Mark Ingram stats? What am I looking up?
What was the bet? Because I thought it was something about me saying Mark Ingram was too boom bust, but don't threaten your boy with a good time.
I thought it
I'm
was.
trying to
that game.
remember. It was what?
I thought it was just his return game. You said he wasn't going to score a tug. That's what I thought. But he scored
I
2.
don't know. I can't remember.
That's what I thought.
You got me. I didn't write it down.
Hold on. Let's go off of that because that's. I mean, if Dre made the bet, then I'm gonna go with that.
Well, I mean, I remember the game. They literally overloaded him for no reason. They just kept handing him the ball, and I was just like, "This is fucking great." His yards per carry had to have been like 3.
I don't believe this.
Survey says.
I don't think it's that. 'Cause
Survey says.
Running back, Average Bros,
you guys
episode
had your,
24.
when did you make your trade? Because that's when you guys had the argument.
That was week 4. It was remember he was suspended because he was it steroid? No, he didn't do steroids.
He played a game before you traded him, though.
Dude, that was not week 4.
Listen, I don't care.
No, he
I'm
sat
just
at
gonna
the first
chug
4. He played week 5. He had a week 6 bye.
Whatever week he played is what you didn't trade him like until you played.
Oh yeah, well Debo picked him.
I mean, if you remember him losing the bet, then I would go with he lost the bet.
Yeah, let's go with that too.
I mean, we know that he lost the bet.
Don't threaten your boy with a beer. Don't threaten your boy with a good time.
Do you want some scissors to fucking stab a bigger
Get
hole?
this kid a drunk helmet.
Yeah, the Dunce helmet. The Dunce helmet is coming soon. Stay tuned. Dunce helmet.
Dunce helmet is coming soon.
All right, he chugs a beer and then we'll get it
All right,
cracking.
well, I'll chug this beer. Well, while I'm chugging this beer, let me just kind of episode 1, season 2. So it's first episode. We're just gonna basically break down all the rookies coming into the league 2019. We did the NFL draft. We did live draft streaming. Me and Mike or Miyagi or whatever you're calling yourself these days.
Little Dick Bandit.
Yeah, Little Dick Bandit over here.
LDB right there.
But so we're just gonna go over all the rookies coming into the league, and just it's probably a lot of names that you probably never heard of. But we're just gonna go over all these rookies and give you our take on what we think about them. So let me chug this beer, and while I'm doing that,
we'll get started.
So we're gonna start off with the quarterbacks at first, and what better way to start out with than the number 1 pick, KYLER Murray. So why don't you guys just get a little take, and I'll slam this beer.
Yeah, let's hear it. Oh, wait, let's watch you slam this beer first.
I'll talk and
I don't know.
watch.
Sometimes, Mike, I think you're a Cardinals fan because you're from Arizona.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's my NFC team if I were to have a team.
So I will say that
So when the Steelers suck this year, your NFC team's going to be the
No, the
Cardinals?
Steelers aren't gonna suck. Our defense is. Where you at? Where you at, Tyler?
let me see.
You need to house it, dude.
He's at the cusp. All right, there we go. We're good.
We need to get
Kobe.
We need to
Beer
get
bet down.
We need to get the beer boot next time.
We do have the boot.
The
You gotta
beer
chug it
das
out of the
boot.
boot. Yeah. Next time. You did good though. Way to go. You really put that
All right,
beer
beer bet.
in your mouth.
You really made that beer your bitch, Tyler. It was a boom and bust.
I'm not mad at it.
But
All right, let's talk about Kyler Murray though.
All right.
So KYLER Murray, drafted first overall.
Is the
by
hype real?
Arizona Cardinals.
I think so.
Who's the presumed starter in front of him right now? Or not? I know he's going to start, but who do they have as the other quarterback?
Nobody.
Or he should start.
Well, I think I heard that. I heard that if something happens, they're gonna just have Byron Leftwich just re-suit up and just play. So he's gonna call the play. They don't even need offensive coordinator. He's just gonna line up and he's gonna call the plays. Really, I don't know his
I'm trying to
backup.
think of who they.
Which goes to show you that.
They have a lot of faith in him.
So I actually just read today that they want to run 90 to 95 plays a game.
Yeah, but that's not happening.
Of course, but they'll run probably like 85.
That would still be among
Here's the
like
thing,
the
here's the-
top
here's the-
percentage
Sure,
of
yeah,
the league,
they're
right?
gonna run exactly. They're gonna run the most. They're gonna run top 5. I bet you plays.
The thing is, your offense has to be good enough to do that. I mean, are they going to be getting? It's a rookie. He's still a rookie quarterback at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you want to run 80 plays, but you have to continue drives. You have to sustain drives. You have to keep moving the chains. You can want to run 900 plays, but it's what is this? It's a new offense too. There might be some struggles in the beginning. It might not click right away. It might, they're figuring things out. We don't know what we're going to see in preseason. I'm sure we'll see some tempo, but I mean, there is the chance, like you saw what Chip Kelly did with when he came into the league with Philadelphia, how they kind of took the league by storm for a second. So there's the possibility of that, but you do got to kind of. It's a new offense, rookie quarterback, a lot of rookie receivers in there. Not a lot of proven talent as we know yet. So, it's something we got to, see if they can actually run the plays they say. I mean, they were dead last in the league in offense by 7 points last year. I don't see that happening. I see this offense taking a jump, but, we just kind of got to, figure out, is it going to be a middle, pack of the offense, or is it going to actually be an offense that runs top plays?
Yeah. What's the Messiah got to say on it?
Well, I mean, I'm more accounting for their defense isn't going to be that great. They're probably going to be playing from behind, which is where I'm also getting half of that. So if they're in the game, they'll be good. But if they're getting smacked, it's only going to help them if they're passing and they're down 21 points when in a pass-heavy, even because they're trying to open up David Johnson on the receiving end again. So he's going to be slanging it, even if it's swing passes or screens behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, with all these guys they got, I mean.
Okay, let's break it down. What is Kyler Murray's ADP right now?
Ooh. Well,
He's definitely going in the later rounds.
I think he's inside the top 10 rounds now. He's moving up slowly. He's building. He's
let's
building
let's
some
be
choo-choo.
honest. So say he's in the 8th or 9th round right now, and 3 or 4 weeks, I could see him going in the 5th round.
I mean, all he needs to do is make one Patrick
Let's-
Mahomes
let's
play
go
in the
with-
preseason, and he'll jump
Dude,
up.
well, right now he's his ADP right now. I mean, they have him going 11.
In 11
Which is-
rounds.
No,
which is-
11th overall. So they have him between Jared Goff and Dak Prescott. 22.
Of
So I don't know. That's like his rating. They have him. So he's a top. They have him right outside the top 10. They have him ranked as a QB1.
I'm pulling him
He's
up
ranked
right
as a QB1 right now. And he hasn't even played a game.
I mean, one thing I could say for him is, in the Cliff, was it Kingsbury or
Yeah.
Kingsbury? Yeah.
They slang it.
He's
His
the king of
offense, yeah,
berries.
it's quick, short, intermediate passes. You want to get your skill
in
players,
space.
in space. So I do agree with Andre right here. I think David Johnson. I think I saw a stat the other day was saying he's averaged 65 receptions in his last 2 full seasons. So he's going to get more involved in the offense. I mean, Larry Fitz is Larry Legend. He's going to get there. Christian Kirk. A couple of the rookies we're going to touch on as we go through. So he's got some weapons. The offensive line kind of scares me, but I mean, pretty accurate quarterback, Kyler Murray here, and then the rushing upside. I know Anthony you always touch on that. If you get a rushing touchdown or you get 100 rushing yards, that's equivalent to
250 passing yards.
250 passing yards. So, I mean, the rushing upside. I mean, we saw Josh Allen last year. Not the best passing quarterback, but rushing ability, he was one of the best quarterbacks down the stretch. You think the rushing upside Kyler Murray offers, makes him a valuable option?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. He's at the 7-10, which is back of the 7th round. See, that's where I kind of that's almost too rich for my blood with the rookie, and even I'm probably one of the guys who's actually probably higher on Kyler Murray just because, especially in a 4 point per passing touchdown league, what these rushing quarterbacks are doing nowadays, it's almost like they're like cheat codes for fantasy, because the rushing they bring just adds so much value. I mean, we've seen rookies come in, Cam Newton as a rookie with the rushing upside, but I think he was a top 5 quarterback, if I can remember. I mean, you saw what RG3 did as a rusher. You think Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. I'm trying to think of some more names off of head, but we've seen these rookie quarterbacks who can rush the ball have fantasy success. They might not have the best NFL success, but we're not playing NFL, we're playing fantasy. So I've really liked his upside, with the legs that he has. That sounds funny saying that, with the legs that he has.
Yeah, he's got some nice legs, apparently.
He's got some nice legs. With his rushing ability, if he can get 600 yards in the ground, he's going to probably finish, in which I think he could easily.
Top 6?
Yeah, probably in the top 8, but
fuck, that's a lot of yards.
yeah, I mean,
No, he can do it.
Yeah,
No, he can do it. No, for sure. He can. He's fast.
I think there's a decent chance he gets above 600. I mean, rushed for 1,000 in college. I know it's college, but I haven't watched the film on him yet, but I've listened to a lot of analysts talk about how he's a really good runner. And
They say he's like Michael
it
Vick.
wouldn't surprise him if he went close to 800 yards in the ground. So
He's like a small, Michael Vick.
I mean, and the good thing, it's a gift and a curse. He's a rookie, so they don't have like film on him or anything like that. So they don't know what he's good or bad at. Just like Mahomes, like he's not a rookie, but first year out he's dogging.
Right.
They can't. There's no film until week 3 or 4 until they can really see.
Yeah.
And if they're running this crazy off, where they're just doing all these short passes, I mean, what film do you have? You already know what they're gonna get.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many games are they gonna win?
Yeah. No, I agree with
7,
you. What you were
maybe?
saying earlier, though. That the
7's a fucking.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
a reach.
The
It's a reach.
defense might not be as great, so they might be chasing consistently. So
You saw that with like the Colts last year with Andrew Luck.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean,
always.
there's always opportunity, for them, playing catch up, throwing the ball and whatnot. But in the rushing upside is obviously there. So maybe you're not taking Kyler Murray as your QB1, but if you're in a double quarterback league, you're gonna take Kyler Murray as your QB2, or maybe me personally, I like to draft 2 quarterbacks in the later rounds sometimes. Maybe take Kyler Murray, and then maybe like a Phillip Rivers or someone along those lines, and play the matchups and whatnot. So
Or you can be risky.
he's the 8th quarterback right now. Would you guys take him as the 8th quarterback?
I don't think I would take him as the 8th quarterback.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, everyone's different. I'm an idiot. I took Mahomes and didn't draft a single quarterback after him last year, and he was the only quarterback I had.
Humble brag over here.
No, but I'm saying that could have blown up in my face, and he could have been hella shitty,
Yeah.
and then I would have been fucked.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, dude. That fucking worked out perfectly.
Yeah,
for you.
but I mean, I like Kyler Murray. They're over here saying he's going to be like Mahomes, and I'm like, that's tough because he just threw for like 50-something touchdowns. I mean, I'll take him if he's there like in like the eighth or ninth round if he's just because no one's big on him.
Yeah.
You know
But
what
there's
it
always
is?
one
There's
It's like,
going to be, that's the exact, I'd say there's one or two person in every league who's going to be like,
I love him.
love
Debo will take him in the third
yeah,
round.
doesn't do much research or doesn't listen to stuff, and they're
Yeah,
going to
for
take
sure.
him in an early round. Or like I said, if you all I need is one fucking just drop back, scramble, like roll out, make a Hail Mary pass, and he's going in like the 6th round.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
because
Why,
someone's
in the
especially in
preseason?
preseason. Yeah.
yeah.
Art,
So
Art already said he'll take Mahomes in like the third. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
I mean,
take
dude,
Mahomes in the
I've
third.
seen.
I think he's a value.
I've
in the
seen
third.
people. I've seen people take Mahomes fucking earlier than that.
Well, my thing,
I think it's gonna happen in a lot of home leagues where you have some idiots. He's gonna go in the first round.
for sure.
100%. Yeah.
Like that's just gonna happen. He's the new fucking Aaron Rodgers. He's the new Tom Brady. Like Pat Mahomes, and he's honestly almost more worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Not first round.
Well,
but
the Chiefs just they don't care. They'll throw the ball all around the yard and.
Andy Reid don't give a fuck.
Well, now the NFL's evolved where they have like these little like shovel passes that count as passes and fucking. All you do is toss it 4 inches and then they go
like
76
this.
yards and you get a
Tyreek,
touchdown.
I forgot
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill did that so many times at the beginning of the year.
So it's like you don't even. I could play quarterback a little bit. I could do that. Give it to a fast black dude. I mean, I really can, but I can do this.
Nice.
Run hella fast.
All right, so Kyler Murray, I think we all kind of agree the upside's there. His rookie year, we'll see what happens though. But I mean, I don't think we're all reaching for him. You know, if he falls into the later rounds, maybe take a shot on him. But
I think 8 would be the like quarterback 8 would be the
How's it
tipping
go?
point to where I would consider touching him.
Yeah.
because I don't think I would
drafts.
personally like taking him in front of Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck. I'm just looking right now, Mahomes.
yeah, I'm not taking him in the top 10. There's other quarterbacks.
I would take Baker over him.
Jameis Winston, Baker. I mean, even I know a name like a Dak Prescott. I mean, I know that's not a sexy name, but
Over-
like
over
Dak
Kyler
Prescott's.
Murray.
I'm not taking
Yeah,
Dak
Dak
Prescott.
Prescott's finished in the top QB. He's been a QB1 basically the last 3 years.
I think Dak
I've used
finishes
it,
in the
so-
top 12 as well.
So,
Yeah, I would just take Kyler Murray just because.
I mean, Matt Ryan. There's a lot of
It's a
quarterbacks I
sexy
take
new
over
toy.
him.
That's
So.
what's the fun part.
Well, I
about
mean,
it.
I'm not. Dak Prescott to me is just like, I mean, even Amari's is going to help him out, but it's like, would you have Jared Goff or would you have Kyler Murray?
I mean, you know what you're getting with Jared Goff at this
Yeah.
point. So you don't know. It could be. I mean, if you're taking one quarterback,
That would be a close one for me, honestly.
It's
right
like,
there. It's a
ah.
good one, actually.
So it's.
I mean,
right.
Jared Goff's numbers were a lot different too once he had Cooper Kupp in
Kupp
the
got-
lineup. Now that he has Cooper Kupp back, I mean,
Everybody was
He was.
hurting.
He was. I think he was a number 3 quarterback in fantasy when he
He
had
was.
Cooper Kupp in the field.
Yeah.
Cooper
So I
Kupp,
mean,
yeah.
we've seen him, and I mean, there's a chance that he has to throw a little more because Todd Gurley isn't.
Himself.
You know, not even himself, but he's not going to get that 300 carry workload. And then there's a rookie behind him, or maybe it's Malcolm Brown. We'll get into that rookie later. So, I mean, there's a chance that Jared Goff even actually maybe has to air it out more. And, you know, McVay makes, you know, with the weapons he has with Kupp and Woods and Cooks, you know, makes Goff maybe a top 5 quarterback. So,
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's touch on to the next quarterback here. So we got Dwayne Haskins, quarterback from Ohio State. He's went to the Washington Redskins. Now they're not projecting him to start. You got Case Keenum over there. Just kind of want to get a brief, your insights on him. What do you guys think about Dwayne Haskins right here? You mean maybe halfway through the season he takes over as the starting?
Yeah.
I don't
think
know
right
anything
now-
about Haskins, to be
right-
honest.
I think right
I
now-
didn't see any college on him.
I think right now you don't really have to worry about him just because he's not going to be draft board worthy.
Unless you're a Redskins fan.
Yeah, I guess.
Psycho.
Yeah, I think with him, it's not going to be a great team. They're probably going to be one of the you got to figure bottom 10 offense.
Keep your eye on him, I guess.
Yeah,
but-
keep your eye on him, and I mean, if you hear he's going to start, we'll be talking about this in season. If you have bench and you have a room, pick him up. But I don't see this being a great offense. I see this being a bottom 10 offense this year. They're in a rebuild mode at this point. And I mean, their defense is just an average defense, so if at best. So I'm not touching him in any case scenario. He'll be a waiver wire guy at best.
I mean, unless you're like in a 2 quarterback league, I mean, he's worth that. I don't know how many rounds that'll go, but he's worth stashing. I feel like week 10 he can start, especially if they're out of it and they want to see what they have. They could just throw him in there and just see what's up.
I mean, they're saying they like him what he's showing
He's
on the
good.
field already.
He's
So
solid.
I mean, you might see him in the first 4 weeks. If Washington comes out and they start at 0-3, you
Yeah.
might see him as early as week 4. So
For sure.
you know, he's like we're kind of basically just saying is keep an eye on him. Let's follow the news, see what the Redskins are doing, and if there's a chance that he's going to start in a week, pick him up because you never know what he's going to be as a rookie. So
And I think their deficiency at like O-line will only help because he can move. I mean, he's black. I get it. But
Stupid. I don't think
but
he
he's
ran
also
very much though.
No, but he could, I mean, he's a lot more mobile than
Just
Case
'cause he's
Keenum.
black doesn't mean he can move.
No, I mean, I've watched him play a lot. No, he has a cannon and he's pretty mobile. I mean, he's pretty sneaky athletic. I mean, he's like Russell Wilson. Like the Seahawks O-line isn't great, but he makes up for it because he can scramble and like extend plays. I feel like he could do that a little bit, and he's better than Case Keenum. Case Keenum is. He's like a filler. He's like a bridge quarterback. He's just there for this year.
He'd be like the most perfect quarterback. Like if you had like a really solid quarterback and like, oh fuck, he's injured. But
he's like it's like
we already clinched the division, and then you know what I mean. Like
it's like Josh McCown
or like what's his name?
Are you go ahead.
Is that his name?
I don't know.
Is that his name?
I mean, I think Dwayne Haskins
Allen?
threw for 50 touchdowns last year in the Big Ten. It's a good conference, too. You know what I'm saying? So he's got the talent. He's got, like, the rushing upside's there for sure, like you said, because
Are you sure?
He's black. But
No,
He's ran. So I'm
I'm not
just
saying he
looking
can
at his
run. He's just
Ohio-
mobile. He's mobile.
he's mobile. He's
a
not,
pocket-
he's
he's a
not a
pocket
rushing
quarterback.
quarterback.
No,
Not at
no.
all. He's
No.
actually a pocket
Passer, yeah, but he can move if
quarterback.
he wanted to.
I think if Case Keenum struggles early on, he could be a guy who, they decided, hey, we're 1-4, 1-5 or whatever. You know,
for sure. And
let's
Ohio's,
throw him in there. Let's just get him some experience halfway through the year. Maybe he could be a guy you could stream week to week, on a basis, depending on the matchup. Because, I mean, you don't go out there and throw 50 touchdowns, even at the collegiate level, in the Big Ten, and not have some type of skill. So the only thing that worries me with the Redskins is there's not much, receiving upside. I mean, you got Doxson, Paul Richardson.
and then we'll talk about he had his teammate that's on that team that we'll talk about in a little bit.
So
on the same.
I'm just looking at his rookie or his numbers in college. I mean, he didn't do much rushing. I mean, 103 attempts, 194 yards, 1.9.
Yeah.
Because I said I haven't watched on him, but I've heard people talk about him, and they say he's kind of stiff.
Yeah.
Back there. So with that being said,
he's a pure pocket passer,
but he can, he can move a lot. Well, and at Ohio State, they ran a lot of like bubble screens and like really like short, really quick passes. Hence, I mean, that's a big thing. We'll talk about another rookie.
Yeah.
But they did a lot of that. I mean, it's also college. You don't have to do much. Some of those kids aren't the best.
I mean, my thing with this is like I'm just looking at this offense, and it's going to be a bottom 10 offense
for sure.
It's going to probably be ran through Darius Geis, Adrian Peterson, a mixture of the running backs. And I don't see, even if he does get a start, if he has no rushing upside with the lack of weapons, him being really any kind of a threat.
Yeah.
For Two quarterback leagues, because I mean that would be the only thing that I would think.
Yeah.
If you're really hurting at, but even then.
For sure.
Stash him, but other than that, no.
So basically, he's a 2 quarterback league quarterback.
Yeah, he's more of a next year guy, project. I mean,
so as far as quarterbacks go, I mean, you probably got like Drew Lock, but even then, he's going to sit behind Joe Flacco for another year or two, possibly. Maybe he's the future, but as far as like redraft leagues go, that's pretty much the only quarterbacks you're rookie wise.
What's his name from the Giants?
I mean, I think Eli Manning stays there for a whole year.
Eli Manning Jr.
I'm not worried about Daniel Jones. I don't know. What do you guys think about Daniel Jones? Do you think he takes the leap and takes over the starting role halfway through the year? Or kind of a Dwayne Haskins similar?
If I have any Giants players, I kind of hope he doesn't.
I feel like
if I'm drafting Saquon, I hope it's Eli Manning the whole year.
Yeah.
If I'm drafting Evan Ingram or I guess you're not really investing much in like a Sterling Shepard or Golden Tate, but for the sake of having Saquon or Evan Ingram, I personally hope that Manning stays the quarterback the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that they would keep him the 1 year. I always feel like it's a good thing. You get these rookie quarterbacks in, just let them sit 1 year. I mean, look at Mahomes, for instance. Just let him sit 1 year, really learn how to be a pro, learn the speed of the game. And I get it. A lot of times people think like, oh, well, they're not starting, but like you're practicing against professional players now. You're not practicing against collegiate players anymore, so you're still getting better. Even though you're not actually in the game, you're still getting the reps. Like you're getting better. So I think it's beneficial to sit 1 year and really learn the system and how to be a professional.
Aaron Rodgers did it.
Aaron Rodgers,
he's had for like 3 years.
So
he was chilling.
That used to be the thing, and the quarterbacks used to sit for 2-3 years. But I think what happened
Look at Pat Mahomes did it, even though it was Alex Smith.
Well, they knew in practice that he was really good too, so they were like.
I think what happened is like it became a thing of like a couple first-round quarterbacks starting, and the fans would just get on coaches if it wasn't, and coaches were losing jobs for not starting first-round quarterbacks, and now it's just like, all right, like we're gonna find out what we have. But like you said, it can sometimes maybe hurt their growth. I mean, you go out there, you're not ready for it yet. You're a young quarterback. You have a couple bad games, and
I mean,
you just never recover from it.
For sure. All right, so let's jump into these next group of rookies here. We're going to jump into the running backs. So, number one rated running back for dynasty, at least wise purpose. Josh Jacobs, running back of the Oakland Raiders from Alabama.
The
So
Las Vegas Raiders. Soon.
Consensus.
Soon the Las Vegas Raiders right here. So
We'll be hosting fantasy shows at the field.
yeah.
We should.
So
What you get
when I think of Josh Jacobs, I think of the one specific highlight. I think it was Alabama and Georgia. I think it was the semifinal game, the collegiate game. I don't know if it was a screen pass or he ran. I think it was a screen pass.
yeah.
Maybe. And he's just running down the sideline, and it's
he
like
just
him and the safety, and he just fucking bucks the safety
runs him
and
over.
walks into the end zone like nothing. Like he just dusted the safety off like
Made himself
nothing.
look like Hercules.
Yeah. And I was thinking that was kind of like the first time I really was like, damn, okay, he good.
He's. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
He's young. He's never had more than like 160 touches.
So is that a good thing or a bad
So
thing?
I was gonna say,
that's where we, like with him. One thing.
That's preference. I mean, if you're drafting, I mean,
What's his ADP right now?
he's 46, so that's 4th round.
I mean,
That's back end. That's 410 or 4. Yeah. Right.
There's a two ways to look at it. It's like, yeah, he has fresh legs, but then there's the other way of, okay, we haven't seen him be able to take, hit after hit, week after week. If he's going to be the workhorse in this offense, can he sustain game after game, going for 20 carries, getting hit by these NFL players who are a lot bigger? I mean, there is a rookie wall at running backs you see sometimes, and they start to wear down. Who were some rookies last year? Philip Lindsay, I know the last 3-4 games he played, he wore down, and he wasn't a workworse back, going into it.
I mean, you
so that
can't
kind
really
of
compare Philip Lindsay to
Well,
Josh
he got hurt,
Jacobs.
and he got
This is
hurt.
a little guy compared to
Undrafted.
a monster guy.
Well,
it's the work. I mean, it's the
Josh
work. It's your
Jacobs-
body getting hit.
Yeah, I got Josh Jacobs ADP at round 3, pick 8,
that's what's even going up. So this was right after the draft. So
and I think
so that's at
that
what?
will still go up.
For sure. I mean, you can see this is my thing. Anyone can get hurt at any time, but
People
to be
reach-
to be fresh is one thing though.
People-
I'll take someone fresh and take my chances.
People reach for Zeke his
Yeah.
freshman year in the NFL. You
Or
know
his
what I mean?
rookie,
So-
yeah. So it's one of those. I mean, but like, that's all preference. If you're scared about that, then I can see why.
I'm just posing the
Oh,
question.
no. I'm saying.
not
I mean,
like-
no. There's people that really do think that. They're like, one of my buddies is like that. He's like, I don't think he's gonna hold up. He'll get hurt by like week 10, or he thinks that the backup's gonna get some love because he's still a rookie and they don't want to wear him out and give him like 300 carries when he's when he's a rookie. But
What's his name's old school, dude.
Yeah, Gruden will treat him like work done.
Yeah,
Just
well,
run him to the
I
ground.
saw an interview where Gruden was saying they want him to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, so
I mean, I know you can always get this hype out of camp, where the coaches are talking up a certain
Coaches
player,
bullshit,
but
though. Yeah,
well,
tell
they
you
want to
Yeah.
protect their investment. They want to act like
Yeah.
they made the right pick. So I mean,
But
he's
when
the
a
only running back taken, right?
yeah, but when a coach is coming out and saying, "Hey, I want my guy to be the Rookie of the Year," I started thinking about like, okay, how did Gruden run the offense last year? And when it was Marshawn Lynch at the beginning of the year, he was getting
He didn't look
12
bad.
to 15 touches every week.
It was a wash. I feel like
he
last
was.
year.
I feel like he was, falling into the end zone almost every other week. Maybe the rushing yardage wasn't as high, but when they got close, they were giving it to the running back. And even when Marshawn went down, and it was Doug Martin, Doug Martin was still, getting it seemed like every week when they got in close, they were giving Doug Martin the goal line carries, and he was getting a touchdown. So I think the touchdown upside for Josh Jacobs is high. If he can stay healthy throughout the whole year, I think 8 to possibly 12 touchdowns total is a real possibility.
Especially for a rookie.
Yeah.
Well, and remember last year he was like dumping people off every week, so there was like no like camaraderie as far as like the team went. Like he was just trading people off, and now I feel like they have their team like what they like, and now they're gonna do what they want. So I mean, they're gonna for sure use him, to help out Derek Carr as far as like opening up the offense. But I mean, you never know. He could be like a Ronald Jones and have 10 carries for 37 yards for a whole season. Doubt it, but
Yeah, for me, I'm very conservative when I draft. So I'm probably gonna avoid him. But that's just
well, he's in that risk taking.
right. It's too close for me. It's too close. That's just how I draft.
He's in the range for me where I'm going to take a receiver over him. I mean, I'm going to probably he's at the 310, which is it's a little too high for me. Here's my worry with him is I don't think Jalen Richard is going anywhere. He's a really good pass catching back, and I think that limits his upside. Also, just looking at some quick numbers too, is the Raiders they were bottom 10 in rushing offense, and they might be bottom 10 in a total offensive scoring team, and that worries me from any kind of running back from perspective. Now, if he's losing passing work to Jalen Richard, who he even said himself, Josh Jacobs was like, I think he's the best receiver I've ever seen as a running back. Yeah, he hasn't seen many, but I mean I know that Jalen Richard has graded really high on Pro Football Focus as a receiver, and if I'm taking a running back in the third round, he's not going to offer me this big receiving upside. It worries me in the third round.
He could catch a little. Yeah, he's not as good as Jalen Richard though.
And that's the thing. I mean, if he's a third round pick, you want your third round back getting, 40, 50 plus catches. And if he's not doing that, he's not going to grade as a third round back to me. And that's where I'm taking, the receivers there instead of him, where I'm taking carry on. Yeah, might not, but he's going to catch probably 50, 60 balls.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that they would force the issue to do that just because of since he was the only running back in the first round, and they want to make it look like they made the right choice?
We saw what Seattle did with Rashad Penny. I mean, he stood behind Chris Carson, so it's not a guarantee. You also got to win games too. That's your job.
Rashad Penny was 30 pounds overweight when he got to training camp last year. That's why he didn't play. He was overweight as fuck.
He was a first round pick. I mean, he was injured.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, yeah, but he showed up 30 pounds overweight, and they were like, yo, you're going to be – he was a third-string running back. Who did they have over him? They had Mike Davis. And who else? And they had another one.
It was Mike Davis, Chris Carson, and him.
Chris Carson, yeah.
Chris Carson. What was it?
Rashad Penny lost. He lost all the weight. He weighs like 225 again, like 220.
Who was the running back that just like fucking did a front flip and then he got tackled and did a front flip, landed and went? I think it was Chris Carson.
It was Chris Carson, yeah.
Yeah.
He's from Nevada, right?
He is now, bitch.
Or maybe I'm tripping.
But no, I get what you're saying for sure.
Oh, no, I'm tripping. He went to Oklahoma State.
Josh, he does offer that 3-down, back that you want. But I agree with you. I don't think Jalen Richard is going anywhere. He's a change of pace back. And
plus you need a good backup.
We saw last year. Even with, like I said, even with Doug Martin and Marshawn, still getting those goal line carries and getting 40 to 60 yards every game. Jalen Richard was still getting, I think we had some stats every week we would bring up, like, he's getting like 4 or 5 catches for, 40, 50 yards every week consistently, PPR-wise. He was a pretty good flex play. So I don't think he goes anywhere.
And Antonio Brown's going to command his targets as well. I mean, they didn't do what they did to get him to not feed him the ball and get his targets.
He'll sit there and bitch
he'll complain the whole time if he's not. So
he's going to get some touches, especially now that Jared Cook is gone. There's about 85 targets right there that are going to open up. And, I mean, that Tyrell Williams they got to feed. So their offense is going to be okay. That's going to help him out because, I mean, they can't just stack the box when you have those kind of guys. Derek Carr's going to have to do good, too, though.
Yeah, I mean, we do still have to see, too, how he is. Like, you brought up the Ronald Jones point. I mean, we don't know how he is at the NFL level yet. I mean, he could struggle early. He could – I mean, Doug sounds ugly to say Doug Martin's name, but, I mean – if Doug Martin's still going to get 5 carries a game, it's going to take away from his upside. And if Jalen Richard's eating at his passing work, in the third round, that's not the running back I want to draft in the third round. As a guy who's in he's got 2 other guys eating at his workload when there's backs or receivers who are still good receivers at that point. So for me, where he's at right now, it's just personally I don't feel comfortable taking him in the third round.
Yeah. No, I think we all like the talent, but maybe the draft price is a little too rich for our blood.
And I kind of think the rookie running backs of late have started. They've almost spoiled us a little bit because some of these rookies have been sensational, for the last couple of years. And years prior there wasn't always all these rookies coming in, 3-4 rookies, finishing in the top 15. So we'll see what happens here. But for me, third round's too rich for me.
For sure. Yeah. So we're going to jump into this other rookie over here. So we got David Montgomery, running back for the Chicago Bears. Montgomery came from Iowa State, correct?
Correct.
From the Messiah. So what does the Messiah have to say about David Montgomery over here? Well, first
I love this dude.
I don't want to cut you off. So before we jump into this, I am cutting you off.
I don't want to cut you off, but wait. I did.
But because I just had to say something. The reason we call this him the Messiah, and the reason why we have him on the podcast talking about rookies is, so we did the live stream. We were talking about the first round. We did the first round. That takes a while. The first round. So but not too many. There's a lot of defensive players and whatnot. So his second and third come the next day. So hit up Dre. He's like, yo, hey, I'm at the bar watching the games. Come through. Let's watch the draft. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. Come watch the draft with you. So get there. Second round just starts. We're kind of watching it. We start talking fantasy football and bullshit and whatnot. All of a sudden, Dre, out of nowhere, he's just like, yeah, I've been doing my rookies rankings for the last like month or a couple weeks or whatever, and I'm just like, oh yeah, really,
which is off season as fuck.
Yeah, which
like,
is
for
yeah.
you to be doing like he's not involved in this podcast, and yet this dude is doing research in fucking
and he's
May.
doing it. I'm just thinking like, yeah, man, I run a podcast and I'm doing it, and I like to think I'm pretty into it, but. And all of a sudden, he just out of the top pocket, dog. He just pulls out like a couple.
I still have these.
The list, dog. So he's got the list, bro. And he's like, oh, so this is like my rough draft list of like the top 15 running backs, top 15 receivers.
I did a pre-draft.
And then he did like a revised copy of the draft of the players or whatever, the top 15. And I just gotta say this: your boy was spot on, dog. And if it wasn't like in order. It was like, the first pick was picked, and then 2, and then maybe it was like 5, and then 4, and then 7, and then 3, and then 6, and then 8. Like it was all like
right there.
It was all right there, bro. And he was, telling me players that I, for me, I'm thinking like, oh, it's the draft. Like I'll start doing some research when they get drafted and whatnot, blah blah blah. But he was telling me, oh, what about this player? He's going to be good, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden he'd be like, like this player just got drafted. He'd be like, oh, and we were literally just talking about him.
At the bar.
So, yeah. So this is why the Messiah is here. This is why, I wanted him to come on and, just kind of drop some knowledge on us and the listeners.
Spit some facts.
Facts. So,
Science.
but
I mean,
I didn't want to cut you
drop some
off,
science.
but I did.
He did.
No, hey, but look, he cut you off and also complimented.
yeah,
you.
good
Let's
luck.
compliment you.
Well,
So this is why the Messiah
He
is
had a
here.
reason for
So
cutting you off.
Yeah.
Messiah, you know what it is? It's because we were talking about this guy, David Montgomery from the Bears, and
my guy.
and I kind of fell in love with him, and we at the bar. Maybe it was the shots of tequila we were taking,
the
but
beer.
but in the beers. But this is a guy who I'm kind of high on going forward, this year. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on David Montgomery from the Bears?
I mean, honestly, he probably went to the most because you know how with rookies it's all about landing spots and opportunity.
For sure.
If someone took him number 1, I wouldn't have been mad. They just dished off Jordan Howard, who just had 240 touches, something like that. In an offense,
like sympathy touches.
and in an offense that needs a dude who can break tackles. And David Montgomery led the country in broken tackles last year. He had 99 missed tackles, led the country. He had the number 97 O-line in the country out of 130. And he still averaged over 5 yards a carry, which isn't crazy for college. But when your O-line's that bad, you break 100 fucking tackles. Impressive. And his lower body's really strong, which is really good. His vertical was good. He had 38. So they compare him to Kareem Hunt. Same thing he did. So he doesn't have breakaway speed or anything like that. But he could catch. He can block, which is like a big thing for rookies, like picking up pass protection and shit like that. If you can't do that, you won't be on the field, especially for third down. He's really good with that. His size. I mean, he's a big dude. He's 5'10", 225. And he plays for the Bears, who are going to run the ball. I mean, their offense is more suited for him too.
Matt Nagy offense.
Yeah, who was the offensive coordinator when Kareem Hunt was there, and that's what he wants to use him as. So he's already been saying that. But he does have Tariq Cohen, which they make plays for him. He's going to get his plays regardless. I'm sure I would take him. He's probably like a flex play right now.
Do you think that David, like, this is a quick question off the top of my head, do you think that David Montgomery is going to affect Tariq Cohen?
I think Tariq Cohen's role is pretty set in stone in the offense.
Yeah, like he's getting his plays. They probably have scripts for him.
And do you think that David Montgomery is just going to take that Jordan Howard role?
Yeah, he's just a more athletic, better player. I call Jordan Howard, I call him a ball carrier. I don't call him a running back. He just carries the ball and he just holds it and he runs with it.
He's like Christian Okoye.
Like his yards per carry last year, dude, he was like 3 yards, 3.3.
You know Christian Okoye?
Of course, the Nigerian Nightmare.
Yeah.
Never heard of him. Yeah, exactly. Only he was like running dudes over. Jordan Howard's not doing that.
Yeah, well, right, but
yeah, he's not good. Yeah, he just sees the ball. He doesn't. Yeah, Jordan Howard doesn't make no cuts.
Right.
And he just like goes straight, which is good. I mean, he was a decent running back.
I think he's a good running back, like you said, but he didn't fit that system at all.
Yeah.
I think he's a good straight runner. He's not a pass catcher at all. We've seen that. I mean, obviously,
He's
but
got bricks for him.
And he's not elusive.
He just didn't fit that, the system there.
It's the system. You talk about it all the time. It's just
system.
The players. You got to fit the system.
And I think
because it's not the talent.
All right,
sometimes
so
it's the system.
You got Mike Davis there, who
That's what I was going to bring up.
He's a premium. He's better than them, but I mean, Mike Davis has NFL experience.
Then they didn't pay him a lot, but they paid him a decent amount of money. So my thing is, it's like I'm trying to figure out what like with this situation is I love what Montgomery's upside is. I mean, the Bears could be, top 5 defense. If Trubisky takes a step, they could be a top, maybe even 8 scoring offense potentially. And when you have a running back tied to that type of offense, it offers a lot of upside. Tariq Cohen's going to have his role. I know that he's a dual threat, which is, that's like I said, if Jordan Howard was able to catch the ball last year, I think he had 240, 250 carries.
Yeah, 250 plus touches.
The touches, yeah.
Total,
so when he can catch the ball, though, that's the difference. So now he offers you PPR upside. My thing is I'm trying to figure out what is Mike Davis going to play in this role, because he's not just a scrub running back. He's actually a decent NFL running back. And is he going to take, is he going to take some of these carries away from him to get maybe, instead of what Jordan Howard had 250, is Mike Davis going to take 50 and he's going to be down around 200, 220? So, and I'm just trying to, that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out with the whole, in a sense, the 3 running backs they have there.
Yeah. So right now, he's projected to finish with 221 touches, which equates to 851 rushing yards, 262 receiving yards, 7 tugs. So he's rated the number 27 running back right now, before Mark Ingram and before Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen's 29. So they got Montgomery at like a borderline RB2.
He's going right behind Josh Jacobs, according to Fantasy Football Calculator. So he's the first pick in the 4th round right now.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs is at 19
I was about to bring it. So ADP for David Montgomery is round 4, pick 2. That's what I got. Early 4th round is what we got for ADP for David Montgomery. So
it's kind of high for my blood right there.
I
like him. I like him.
See,
I like him.
See, I'll take that because Jordan Howard did decent, and he's better than Jordan Howard. That's just how I would see it. And
I agree, but there was just no Mike Davis last year in that offense to see what.
And Nagy's talking about how he wants to use him. So
okay.
Like I said, I'm on the page. I like David Montgomery. I think he has a ton of upside, but I'm just trying to figure. I don't want to make this decision that he's going to have Jordan Howard roll with the catches, and then Mike Davis plays a role, and then I end up being like, fuck, I took him in the late 3rd, early 4th, and he's not the kind of workhorse back I was expecting. So that's where I'm just trying to look in and see what we're gonna, is it gonna be a 3-headed?
You're more looking for a guarantee versus this is more of a gamble. And I think it is a gamble with high upside.
Well, and it's also draft strategy. I mean, if you go and you have the 10th pick and you go D-Hop, AJ Green or something like that, or D-Hop and someone else in the first 2 picks, then you'll take him. Then you're taking him in the 4th. Right. I mean, you know what I mean? Because now he's going to be your RB.
Because he's what RBs are left.
He's and the drop off after him is some serious. I mean, you need something. So it's all based on that. Now, if you take running back your first 2 picks.
Don't look at this guy.
You might consider if you want to go heavy, but you're more apt to take him if you want to go receiver first.
If you want to go like Anthony's brother and fucking pick 6 running backs in the league.
Because think about it this way: it goes from LaShawn McCoy to Tevin Coleman.
In that same round.
No, I'm just saying the number 31 running back is shady, and then it's Tevin Coleman. So you have a starter to someone who's going to be.
Montgomery's being way higher than 31. No.
I'm saying just showing you the drop off. Montgomery's way up here, but I'm saying if you don't take him there. It goes to 27. Then it's Mark Ingram, Tariq Cohen, Darius Geis, LaShawn McCoy.
He's just saying with
the opportunities that he's going to get at 27.
He's just saying the way the draft falls.
Yeah,
is that these running backs he's going to go buy you, and then you're going to be left with shit the running backs.
LaShawn McCoy's in the 10th round.
No, I'm talking about running back rankings, just running backs. He's rated the number 31 running back. Yeah, his 80. Yeah, but I'm saying if you don't take Montgomery. Say the draft passes by, now you got to pick between Tevin Coleman, LaShawn McCoy. I'd rather just take David Montgomery.
He's not the 27th running back, though. That's what I'm saying. He's way up here. He's the...
Yeah, but if Anthony's breaking down ADP, then you might be incorrect on that one, Dre.
No. I'm saying overall, he's rated the number 27th running back in all of fantasy football, not ADP 27.
No, he's going as the 1, 2, I can't count that fast.
Well, that's what they have him ranked right here, 27.
8, 9. 11, 12, 13,
For me,
14, 15,
I definitely
16,
like the talent. I mean, he has 3 down potential.
Mind you,
of course,
after the draft.
Tariq Cohen's going to be there still.
It's a sleeper bet. So 21.
But Tariq Cohen is 1 hit away from being injured. He's a small guy. I mean,
this is the utmost.
If he was to go down, David Montgomery's upside obviously goes through. We're playing what if now and whatnot, but. I'm not too concerned about Mike Davis, me personally. I think Mike Davis will get a couple carries here and there, but I think David Montgomery as a talent is better than Mike Davis. So we'll see. I like David Montgomery, and if you're playing in a league where maybe people aren't paying too much attention to David Montgomery, he falls. I know we're saying the ADP right now is going in like the 3rd or 4th round or 4th round, right?
Right.
But if David Montgomery is the fall to like the 6th, 7th, 8th round, in some leagues he will. Like this is a scenario. Like you said, in some leagues people are going to draft Mahomes in the 1st round. Like they're just going to reach for him. But there's going to be some leagues where David Montgomery falls to the 7th, 8th round, and and if he falls to those rounds,
Then
I'm definitely jumping all over him. Yeah,
snag him,
100%.
dude, for
So.
sure.
I like the talent here, especially if you're in a dynasty. Like, he's going to be one of these guys that you're definitely going to want to jump on because I think going forward, Mike Davis is kind of just he's there for
filler
now.
spot.
Filler spot, you know what I'm saying? And David Montgomery is the guy long term. So, I like it. I like the talent for sure.
For sure.
These guys are arguing.
You guys figure it out? Or what?
No.
I turned you guys.
No, we were just talking about 2 different things.
No, for sure. I just turned your guys' mics back on. Turn them off for a second. I put you in timeout.
He's got a different thing, so it's throwing me off when I'm looking at the okay.
Yeah, he's looking at overall. I'm looking at just running backs. He's looking at like all offensive players. But no,
sure.
he's good. I mean, he's in a good offense. He's going to get the opportunity is the most important thing for anybody.
He's saying if you're what it comes down to is what you're saying is that if you miss on that running back
On that round,
there's
20 more picks.
and there's 20 more picks, and then it comes back to you, and all of a sudden you have
It's thin picking.
Exactly. You're not going to, the chances of you finding someone who can potentially have 210 touches, it's not going to be there in 20 picks.
right.
Maybe. I'm just saying maybe.
So to finish this,
he's going at the 401, but it's like where do you can get him in the middle of the 4th, you can get him late in the 4th, so or you can get him in late
But
3rd.
this is early though, and
Yeah,
I feel like
it's
a lot
early.
of these people who are doing these ADPs are
Yeah.
people who know what they're doing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like I was just telling Mike, there's
somebody
going
could get
to be
hurt.
some drafts where he falls to the 7th, 8th round, because people aren't really paying attention to what's going on, and if he falls to
Trust
that,
me, I'm
that's
in-
a,
I mean,
Trust
he's not,
me,
I'd say
I'm
he's
in-
falling in the 5th. I'm taking him.
Yeah,
even
I'm-
late 4th.
Yeah,
I'm not,
I like him. I like him just based on the dude who's coaching him and the dude who's calling the plays. What he did with Kareem Hunt. I mean,
you can finish top 8 for me, but like I said, I'm just trying to figure out from like what is Mike Davis going to do? Is he going to take away the top 8 upside and make him more of a 12 to 15, or is he going to not
think he's
be a
gonna spell.
factor and maybe the top 8 back? And that's what I'm just trying to figure out.
To me, it's almost like a Kerryon Johnson situation, almost similar. The LeGarrette Blunt's there. He's going to get those carries. Mike Davis, Tariq Cohen, they're going to get
give
those
him
carries.
breathers, spell them out.
Yeah, but eventually, as we went through the season, we saw Kerryon Johnson kind of emerge as the better running back, and he kind of opened it up. Obviously he got injured, and that kind of derailed his rookie season. But I think that's the same situation for David Montgomery going forward. Like maybe a slow start. And,
He'll prove to be better.
If for some reason, if he gets dropped for some crazy reason, you snag him up, you hold on to him, and boom, weeks 5, 6, 7, he explodes. Now you gotta solve flex guy going forward, plus whatnot. So, jumping to this next guy here. So we got Miles Sanders, running back from Penn State, right?
Yeah. It's a perfect segue into this because they just shipped off the ball carrier that is Jordan Howard to the Eagles.
Yeah.
And with him, same thing with like Josh Jacobs. He was behind Saquon, so his touches were limited, but he did get the opportunity last year and he balled. And not only that, he's going to a top 3 offensive line. They're right now projected the number 2 offensive line, so that's always good when you have good blocking. We all know the Eagles, they have good play call. They're solid all the way around.
Solid, yeah.
With him, he did hurt his hamstring, so me personally, I don't think training camp he'll do well, I'm sure. Who knows, but I would say like week 6 or 7, he's more one of those guys where he is worth drafting in like redraft leagues. If you have, I don't know how your keepers leagues work or anything like that, but he's worth at least holding on to because by week like 6 or 7, he should prove to be the best. Once he learns the plays and gets healthy, he's clearly better than him. And another fact, so they traded up and got him at the 53rd pick, and the last time they did that, they took Shady with the 53rd pick. Exact same pick in the draft. They traded up to get him, and they want to use a guy. So I would say be more patient with him, but he can prove to be beneficial to you, especially if you're trying to make a championship run and you hold on to him. He can be somebody that could pop, especially on the back end. At the beginning, I'd be more patient.
Yeah. So someone draft and hold on to.
Yeah, draft and hold on to, just see how it works out. That's barring that Jordan Howard doesn't get hurt and doesn't play. But if barring any injury, he's someone to be a little bit more patient, especially I would check their bye week. And if it's like an earlier bye week, I feel like that makes him more valuable because that gives him a little more time to learn the offense and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just kind of get his feet underneath him. But, Yeah, I mean, they traded up to get the guy, so they're going to want to use him in some regard, and he was behind Saquon. So he's fresh.
So back to, I'll touch on like some stuff with so when they drafted Shady, it was not the same coaching regimen that's there. My problem with any Philly running back is
the GM owner.
Who's the coach right now? I always forget his name.
What's the Eagles running back? Coach Mike, you always make fun of him.
Who's the Eagles head coach?
Doug Peterson.
Yeah, that's the thing is he does. Turbo McVisor he's not a workhorse running back coach. We've seen it for almost 3 years now. He's not going to have any kind of workhorse with the running back. We've seen. I'm looking at just snap percentage, and I see one number that went over 60%. I remember the year before that. I'm scrolling down too. It's just he doesn't use a workhorse running back. He's a committee running back. He doesn't give anyone that full workload. Just looking at this report too, it says that he needs to work on his pass protection. As a rookie, that's not something you want your rookie. You have to worry about with your rookies. I think his upside is an RB2 because I do think he could win the job and maybe show some, like you said, week 5, 6, 7, show some upside. My thing is just it's Doug Peterson. It's a situation. I don't think he's going to feed him as the workhorse back. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know what Darren Sproles' role is there still. Is he going to be back there passing catches?
He might not make the team.
You still got Wendell Smallwood.
Smallwood.
You got Josh Adams, and you have Corey Clement. So he's going to jump off. I mean,
and they just paid. I mean, they just traded for Jordan Howard, so he's going to have his role too. And it's the coach. It's not necessarily the talent; it's the coach.
Yeah.
Do I think he could maybe talent-wise be the best running back there? I do, but it's just the coach. And I've learned something. I've learned is that coaches, when their systems are set and the way they run things, he's going to need to be highly efficient for it to change in my eyes. He's going to need to be a 5.5 back, making plays out, big splash plays, making catches in order to get that workhorse type role. So that's just where I'm at with Miles Sanders right now.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, whenever a team goes out and they trade for a player or they sign him to a big free agent contract, I'm always like, okay, you went and got that guy, you're going to use him, obviously. So went out, traded for Jordan Howard. So, obviously that's a good stat I saw in Jordan Howard the other day where it's saying, when he's running a certain zone scheme, his rushing numbers went down. And they were saying that the Eagles run that zone scheme at the highest rate in the NFL, so that it was bad for him. But even then, when you get close, they're probably going to give him some goal line carries. Like you said, you still got Corey Clement, who's going to be probably the change of pace back. I'm not sure if Darren Sproles and Wendell Small would make the team, but they're still there. And then you got Miles Sanders, the rookie guy coming in. So this is just a mess. We see Doug Peterson. He likes to use different running backs all the time. So I don't know how sold I am on taking him. Me personally, I'm probably avoiding all Eagle running backs in general because I just don't know who. I don't want to play Russian roulette with my running backs and how many touches they're going to get, who's going to get the goal line carries, and whatnot. So, the talent could be there. I'm not doubting the talent. But as far as like my fantasy team wise, I'm probably just avoiding all Philly running backs in general.
I think that I feel the same way. It's the same thing how I feel about the Patriots running back situation every year. It's the same thing that how Philly has been last year and this year. It's like there's just too much going on. It's like I don't want to. You're basically gambling on which running back's going to be.
I was going to say the Jaguars receivers.
Well, see me. I mean,
same thing. You can put any analogy as you want.
Well, with Jordan Howard, I mean, I really just don't think he's good. And then I look at his stats, and he's just falling off. He averaged 5.2 yards, then 4.1, now 3.7. So in 2 years, he's falling off 1.5 yards per carry, and he's not getting better at anything else. He's catching less. He's touching the ball less.
That is a good point. Is like
he's regressing, and he's not, and he never won the job. He only got the job because somebody got hurt. So it's not like it was one of those things where his talent stood out. It was more given to him, and that's why the Bears are like, well, I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, looking at his numbers, he got shipped off for nothing.
I mean, he just didn't. I think it's more of a system thing with him. You could be right in that. But it's like you don't just fluky run into 1,500 or whatever you ran into 1,300 yards.
12.
I mean, you have to have some kind of talent
to do that. I think
he's
had 9+ touchdowns in every single year too.
No, rookie year he had 6, but he didn't play. Yeah, he had 1,300, then 1,100, then 900
or more. I think.
Yeah,
no.
9, and 6. So I mean, not bad. I mean, he's a 4.3 career, but especially when we're talking rookies, guys we're looking to go up, and you have someone who's going down. It's just a matter of time. I see it's just
They're
a matter
going
of
in
time.
opposite
Yeah,
directions.
I get
and
your
his
point.
talent. I mean, Jordan Howard doesn't. What does he really do? Really, I mean, he falls into the end zone because from the 2-yard line. I mean, he doesn't have breakaway speed. He really can't catch. I mean, I just don't see much. He's a good. He's.
So
I'm
you're
not
gonna
going to dog the guy.
you're gonna disagree, and you're gonna go like you would take him at his ADP.
So where do
Yeah,
you,
I would
so
never
where-
take Jordan Howard.
Yeah,
I'm not taking Jordan Howard.
No,
I'll
but
take a receiver.
Miles Sanders.
Yeah, we're talking about Miles Sanders. So where do you feel kind of comfortable taking him at?
8th round, 9th round if he's there. I mean, he's worth keeping. I'm not gonna draft him and be like, he's gonna help me win right now. I'm more gonna take him and say I'm gonna sit on him, and then let him be better, and then he's one of those players who can take your team to the next level if you draft right before him, to where if he works out, your team will just be solid.
Yeah.
Because if he does take the job, you got yourself a dude who's on a really good O-line with a really good offense that's gonna score a lot of points. So I mean, there's the upside's there for sure, but Jordan Howard could you never know, he could average 5 yards a carry again.
I mean, that's what there's just too many. There's
The O-line is so good.
There's so many moving pieces with this where it's like I think the Eagles might be a top 5 passing offense too as well. I think Carson Wentz might drop back and throw a lot,
Which is
and
only
I
gonna help,
And I
you
could
know?
see them. Well, the thing is, I could see them being lower on the rushing side of the league. And I mean,
If they're winning, they're running.
yes, but is Jordan Howard running at the clock late in the game? I mean, is he getting the goal line work? There's just a lot of moving pieces with him. To me, his upside is an RB2 at best. I mean, just it's the coaching to me.
In keeper leagues, though, I would keep him because next year everything I've read, they expect him to be the guy for sure. Next year, though, they do want him to be the guy.
Yeah, keeper league's different.
Keeper
story.
league, but or in redraft, I mean, or if you're doing like what we have, one round. I mean, you took Darius Guice last year, which was genius until he got hurt again, but you never know. So if you're in one of those, because not everyone is in our league that we do, but if you're in one of those, it's worth it
For sure,
to
yeah.
stash. I mean,
I think I'd start looking at him in the 9th round. That's where I would
Yeah.
start considering him.
and
Just
it's all
like
preference
my-
if you really like him, and you never know. What if he balls in the preseason,
Yeah.
and then we're not even talking about it?
Yeah.
and then he's
Right.
then
He's too high.
Yeah, now he's in the 6th round, and now
Yeah.
so that's the thing. Preseason starts what 3 weeks.
Good. Let someone take
But
it.
we're-
know.
but
I'm
here's
on
the
board
thing.
with
I'm,
Tyler,
and
too.
mind you,
just
I
don't-
haven't. I drafted him.
I'm
with,
not touching
I
the Eagles
draft.
right now.
I drafted him with my 5th pick in Dynasty, but it's all.
No, I think Dynasty, that's a good pick going forward, like you said, because I don't think Jordan Howard is in the long-term plans. Corey Clement, Wendell Smallwood, Sproles is on his, he's pretty much going to retire. So, Miles Sanders could be a guy, in 2-3 years what we're talking about as a top 10 running back, going forward. So I think it's good. For me personally, the Eagles is just all over the place. There's a lot of good talent everywhere. They're going to spread the ball around. It's not going to be one guy who's getting a heavy workload. The only guy from the Eagles, me personally, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, is probably just Carson Wentz. That's probably the only Eagle guy I'm actually really targeting going forward. So
For sure.
receivers, tight ends, all that stuff, just a lot of talent across the board. Eagles, good team for sure. So we'll jump to the next running back here. We got Darrell Henderson, running back for the Los Angeles Rams
Man,
from
stud.
Memphis. Correct? Each time I keep asking you, correct? Because
Stud.
you're the guy now, right?
No, hey, this dude. I mean,
So this is an interesting one because we're talking about Gurley last year. He's a RB1. He performed like the RB1 the whole year until he got hurt, kind of knee injuries. So you see these a lot of reports saying what's up with the knee. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? People are saying that it's nothing, but then in the Super Bowl he didn't really even play. I mean, what's your take on here? Is this a guy? Maybe my question here for you guys is this a guy that if you're drafting Gurley, do you have to go get this guy as your handcuff 100%, or are you just
100%? If you're gonna get Gurley, you game plan around getting this dude somewhere.
Darrell Henderson.
I mean, what
Yeah.
are you guys thinking? So I draft Gurley. Let's just say he falls to me in the middle of the 2nd round. Top of the 2nd round.
Well, then
whatever.
you drop on your knees and you pray and say thank you, God.
Do
for
you
having
go
him get to
out
me
and
in the
get Darrell Henderson because you're protecting your investment, I guess, in a sense? Like you want to cover your ass. Is that what you guys are doing or what?
You guys go first because I'm probably gonna have a different take on this.
Because
Well,
you're
I
not
never get-
drafting Darrell Henderson to be your
Well-
a flex player or a running back. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of more of I would think of as a handcuff.
Yeah,
or
with upside.
Or if Gurley got hurt, like I said, handcuff. So
I mean, he led the country in rushing. I mean, I don't have to look, I'm not even looking at my phone at that. He most explosive. I mean, he had a lot of big plays. He had breakaway speed. And one stat that's crazy is, so as a freshman, he only played 107 plays, scored 8 touchdowns. 10% is not bad. Next year, 150 plays, 11 touchdowns. And then 230 plays, 25 touchdowns. Dude scores.
So guys got a nose for the end zone.
Dude scores. He gets yards in chunks, and he breaks away. And they traded up. They only had, 3 picks in the draft? Something like that. And they traded up to get him. But that also could be because of Gurley's hurt. But, the dude is good. Obviously, he's not good enough to be in the first round, so you could obviously say he has, there's something wrong with the guy. But as far as putting up numbers on the field, he gets it done. And he was in the SEC, which is a good conference. And you put up numbers, and he had 2 really good seasons of putting. He ran for 1,900 yards on 214 carries last year.
So what's your take?
My thing with it is his price to take him is going to be high. And here's the other part of it too is it's not even a guarantee that he's the actual backup. There's a chance that Malcolm Brown is actually the one who is the backup. They did pull. Who was the one to get him? Was it Buffalo or someone? Someone went to sign him, and the Rams went out and were like, no, like we're paying for Malcolm Brown.
It.
Yeah. So there's the chance that he might not even be the backup. He is a rookie. We don't know what he could do on the field yet. Just kind of looking at some stuff right now as, he's a little. They say he's a little smaller than desired for an early down back.
He's only 5 feet.
He's only 5'8". So even if he is, this could be a timeshare. So. The price you're gonna have to pay right now for him it's looking like a late 6th, maybe early 7th, and at that point, if I'm drafting Gurley, I might even just say whatever, like fuck it. If he finishes the year, cool. If not, I'll pick him Malcolm Brown when that time comes, or I'm sure someone will drop Darrell Henderson after a week or two, and I can probably try and slide him in if I think there's a worry. But
yeah, that's a good point. Is like if you draft Darrell Henderson, are you going to be stuck with him on your bench the entire season?
Well, I think it's more the other.
Season.
I think it's more the other way around. I feel like if you're drafting Gurley, are you cool with having Darrell Henderson on your bench the whole season? Because you're almost washing a pick. If you're trying to take that approach, only if you're AMAC and you don't care and you don't want to do a backup, then just take Gurley and ride. But if you're going to take Gurley and you want Henderson, you just got to be aware that you're wasting a pick to cuff yourself.
You're almost wasting a starter too if you're taking him in the 6th round. That could be your.
That's what I'm saying.
That could be your flex
early.
play.
So it's strategy that if you
now I will. It's hard to talk about ADPs right now.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, although we're bringing these ADPs up right now, these ADPs are a little bit skewed because the only people who are doing mock drafts and stuff like that right now are people like us who are way too into fantasy football.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a little bit skewed. So you got to put that into perspective too. I think that his ADP could probably drop lower than where it's at now.
Yeah. But there is nowadays too there is so much content for everyone to get. Not just our site, ESPN everywhere. There's so many ways for even the rankings. He's going to be ranked at a certain spot, and people are going to know who he is. So I still think he's going to go to a decent spot. Like I said, to me, it just comes down to I'm not 100% if he's even the handcuff one, and then 2, is he even going to get the full workload? If he is, it might be a committee. And for me to waste a 6th, 7th, even 8th, there's still solid players I'm getting in that range. If he fell to the 10th and I had Gurley, then maybe I'd consider it. But I'm taking my starters right there. I might even miss out on a big quarterback in that spot. So for me, I'm just not investing in that the position where I have to draft him.
Yeah, for me personally, them, like you said, they didn't have many draft picks, and
so that shows
to spend their draft
value.
capital to go get him. This it makes me worry more about Gurley than anything. What's going on? What do they know that they're not telling people? It's almost like kind of sidetracking here. I'm pulling a Anthony right here, but I'm going to do a basketball reference instead of a baseball reference. But it's kind of like the Kevin Durant situation. I was telling everyone all the time, bro, it's not just a calf strain. He's probably got an Achilles injury. They're just not saying shit.
Together.
You know what I'm saying? And then boom, he comes back, torn Achilles. So I think there's more to the Todd Gurley situation than we're all being led on to. So and them going to get Darrell Henderson is just kind of them, acknowledging the situation.
You don't say for the Super Bowl, he's gonna be full out there, and then all of a sudden he
doesn't
completely
he's
not.
So
there's a that sounds like the biggest lie. How can you trust anything after that happened?
Well, and his trainer, which I've never heard, and the analogy I gave someone else, I don't want to say on here because it's but he said he had an arthritic component. All right, I'll say it. Fuck it. He said he had an arthritic component in his knee, but it's not arthritis. And I told my boy who owns him in our dynasty league, he's trying to dish him off, and I go, that's like someone saying he has a homo component, but he's not gay. No, if you have a homo component, you're gay. Just like if you have an arthritic component, you have arthritis.
Yeah.
There's no What do you mean? There's not arthritic component.
So his
motherfucker.
knees
you
are
have
fucked.
you have it exactly.
So he
if
has
your
gay
trainer
knees?
if your trainer is telling you, you have gay broken knees. You chase gay dudes and now your knee hurts. So yeah, if your own trainer that you train with,
I don't know how you got there, but I feel
you know what I'm saying? Though? I'm just saying if your trainer that you work out with says you don't have arthritis, but you have an arthritic component, bro, you got arthritis.
I mean, it's almost like the Ajayi situation with Miami. It's
like you're toast.
You know, Ajayi is not a bad running back, but you know there was talking about his knees. You know, his knees aren't going to hold up. He's got no cartilage. It's bone on bone, and you know they dish him away. He goes to Philly. You know, he's over there. He's doing okay, but. I mean, he's not even on a team right now. He's he's a free agent still. So, I mean, it's a realistic thing, you know, the whole knee injury. So, like I said, for me personally, it's more of a Gurley situation than a Darrell Henderson thing. I'm not really targeting Darrell Henderson. I'm just more of like I'm probably going to be avoiding Gurley. You know, in that second round where he's going, there's better talent, more sure talent that I'm probably going to want to take. So,
but on the flip side, if you do think that Gurley's going to get hurt and you don't want Gurley, then go get Henderson wherever you value him at. If you do feel that way, because and then
could be a late round lottery pick
for yourself if you think
I think I'm with Anthony. I'm going to wait until someone drops him in the third week.
Yeah. That's a real possibility.
That's where I'm kind of.
Hopefully, no one's that dumb, but you never know.
But
it's all about roster spaces, I guess, depending on your league that you're in, whether you have like 7 roster spots or 9 roster spots. So I guess that's all.
That's what I mean.
It's all relative. But if you do have a big roster spots as far as bench, he's worth holding on to. But if you're in one of those leagues where it's like limited, he's not one of those guys.
Yeah, because if you're a 5 or 6 man bench,
like you're not doing that.
I've held suspended players, and I've like fuck, I want to pick up this player, and like I don't, and it ends up coming back to like bite me in the ass because the guy ends up being a like good starter
you're
or a
too
breakout
conservative
player, and I'm like, dude, it's like the last thing I want to do is hold a Darrell Henderson and miss out on like the next Philip Lindsay or.
Because it's like Alvin Kamara a couple years ago, same thing.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, just decides to just show up and do really good.
Just pull that bowl piercing and fucking.
He got a septum pierce. I feel like he listens to like Tech 9. I feel like Alvin Kamara listens to like Tech 9 and like some hard like kind of like. Or he listens to like Immortal Technique and shit like that. That's what I feel like he listens to. Unless he kicks it with Mark Ingram, then they listen to like real rap. Anyway.
Sure, yeah.
Who was the big DN drafted by the Browns last year? Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, yeah.
A couple years ago.
Kyle was telling me he's funny because like he's this big ass black dude, but like he listens to like country ass.
I was gonna say like
country
country
music, like country ass music.
That's like
not
Jimmy
even,
Butler.
like not even like pop country, like country ass music.
For sure,
He's like 6'6", just fucking jacked, and he's just listening to country music.
Just like hella calm.
For sure.
Cowboy as fuck.
Well, here's a couple other running backs. We're just gonna kind of run through these guys a little quicker than the other ones. But
My guy. I can
so
tell
we
you about
got Devin Singletary, running back from the Buffalo Bills here. So
dude scores. I meant to just cut you off. I know that one.
You good?
Dude scores a lot. He didn't go to a big school, and what hurt him was his combine and his size. He's a little smaller than normal.
5'7".
But the dude, they say he can shake you outside of a phone booth. Like this dude just is like super elusive. He's another guy. If you're doing a redraft in the back end, you can take him in like the 15th round because he has T.J. Yeldon and Frank Gore and LaShawn McCoy. Their average age and talent is very high in age. I'm not big on T.J. Yeldon.
I think he's one of the guy you hit the fucking watch flag on, and you keep an eye on it. Because I think he could be someone who's like week 10, 11, 12, maybe a little sooner, but
for sure.
I think he's someone's second half that can maybe be a nice flex play for your team.
He could be like a Tariq Cohen when he came into the league.
Yeah, but I think he's got a couple hurdles to get to that point. And it could definitely happen. He is kind of, but I don't think in a redraft with a small bench you'll have to draft him. I think he's someone, but know the name, keep an eye out on the name, and if you see him starting to get some more playing time, you see they're starting, or Frank Gore or McCoy gets hurt, or one of those guys gets hurt. Then that's where you start to make that move. Or maybe the Bills trade McCoy midseason because I think that's a possibility with him too. So
the Bills need it.
Yeah, sure, I think he's someone to definitely, like I said, hit the watch flag on, or if you have a deep bench and maybe 8, 9, I don't know, some of these leagues are, but take it the last pick and you can hold it. But I think it's going to be hard for him to make an early season impact.
Yeah, for me, he's more of a dynasty pick. If you're in dynasty leagues, you're going to take him going forward because I think Shady's, kind of a bold prediction. I think maybe they could potentially cut Shady. You know,
Yeah, he's been getting worse the last 3 years.
Save some money on the salary cap. You still got Frank Gore, TJ. I mean, between Frank Gore and TJ Yeldon, and even the rookie right here. Those all three of those guys can do what Shady could do. So Shady's on the tail end of his career.
And
so.
Josh Allen's going to take away some of those rushing attempts
for sure.
And the other 3 guys have really team-friendly contracts as far as how much they're paying them. They're not paying. Singletary's not making anything, and then you got Yeldon and Gore that are on
nothing,
prove-it deals. So the only one you're really paying is Shady.
Cut him, free up some salary cap.
And next year's draft class is loaded if they really want another one for cheap. So I can easily see them trading him away to a desperate team that needs a running back, like the Dolphins.
Chill, bro.
Oh, bro. We're in rebuild.
I like Kalen Ballage. I like Kalen Ballage.
Yeah, I think we all kind of agree, right?
honest.
Devin Singletary is more of a dynasty pick going forward. So I mean, unless the injury happens, he's not really going to be fantasy relevant this year going forward. So
yeah, not so much.
Another running back here, we got Alexander Mathiasen, running back for the Minnesota Vikings. So I've been talking about it, and every time I bring it up, you always talk about it too. It's I love Dalvin Cook this year, and every time I say it, you're always like, bro, you hated him.
No,
last
he
year.
fucking hated him.
Hey, ready? Best ability.
Availability.
My guy is so good at missing games.
I love
He's
Dalvin
RB1.
Cook going forward this year. I mean, kind of, I guess, the Gurley, Henderson situation. So, if you're drafting Dalvin Cook, is this a guy who you're taking as a handcuff?
I don't. Do you need to? That's in regular leagues. That's what I'm trying to think about. I mean,
maybe.
What's his ADP? Did you have that? On there?
I mean, because Dalvin
So
Cook's a
he's a
3-down
60
back.
He's probably not even drafted.
Dalvin Cook's a 3-down back. He could be out there for he could have a 70+%.
And
usage
his
stuff.
talent
So,
is there. He's a 3-down back. He run when he plays. He performs.
I take Dalvin Cook over Le'Veon Bell.
I love Dalvin Cook this year. He's one of my biggest man crushes going forward. So I mean, Alexander Mathiasen.
I have his number.
I'm not really.
People probably be like, you take Dalvin Cook over Le'Veon Bell? Yep.
I would agree with you on that. Actually, I love Dalvin Cook going forward this year. I think top 5 potential. I think the upside's there for sure.
Upside for sure, for sure.
So, this guy Alexander Mathiasen though, he's kind of more of a bigger back, kind of like a Latavius kind of Murray.
He's almost like a Jay Ajayi, same school.
Same school. Okay.
He's pretty late round right now.
Yeah, you might not even need to draft him, but I mean, if you do have Dalvin Cook, and let's just say you like handcuffs with your
team,
if everyone plays the game their own way. It's fantasy football, and let's just say you like Dalvin Cook's upside. You're like, I like him as a top whatever. I want to take him, but if he gets hurt, I don't want to be screwed out of that back, and he's a guy you can take as a cup with one of your last picks.
Yeah, you want to protect your investment.
I don't play that way. We don't, a lot of us probably don't. But if you do, invest in with your last pick, just know the name so you know who he is and who to take.
Yeah. And I'm the other way because I'm more I think Dalvin Cook's something's gonna happen to him again. So I would draft.
You're like an extreme. You're like an extreme Anthony. Anthony likes those chances.
Well, I just
picks,
he got hurt.
I feel like you really like those.
Well, I want to say he I don't know if he tore his ACL in college. He got hurt in college too, though. So he got hurt in college. That's why he went where he went. Dalvin Cook did.
He did.
And then he's been hurt. How many? 17 games. So I mean, it's not like I'm saying anything crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dude's
No,
missed.
he's definitely injured.
But he's good
so far.
So he's good. So that's what I'm saying. If he's there, I mean, I'll take him. I'm not gonna not take him if he's there. But obviously not with these two schmucks in the league. They're gonna take him way before me.
For sure.
Right.
I'm taking
Right.
him.
So
Would you take Le'Veon Bell or Dalvin Cook?
I'm taking Le'Veon Bell. But that's okay.
Beer bet?
I think I'm taking Dalvin
Sure,
Cook.
we could beer bet.
I'm all in on Dalvin Cook.
Wait, are we gonna
dude.
beer
I'm
bet
all in on
that
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook scores more fantasy points?
Bell, yeah.
Beer bet Dalvin Cook
Barring
outscores-
injuries, or
Barring
we just
injuries.
no. Damn, see that fucking
you
hurts
said
me. That hurts me. I should have said it.
Yeah.
I should have said it because Dalvin Cook plays in a dome.
I mean,
and
Le'Veon
maybe
Bell's kind of injury prone himself too. He's
yeah,
been
but he
hurt
be
those
smoking
few
hella
times.
weed though. He
He was
smokes
fucking
weed.
fat as
He's
fuck
limber.
last year, and he hasn't played in 2 years.
He limber and breaks down.
Wait. We need to officially announce what is this.
Yeah,
beer
you
bet?
maybe do this beer bet from
All right, we
fucking
can. All right, when a beer. All right, so
Mike, log this down.
I'll
Beer
write
bet it.
down.
beer bet. So
I'll put a little box for
we're
Jay.
taking Dalvin Cook will outscore Le'Veon Bell.
barring
PPR
injury.
wise.
PPR or half
that's
point,
what
half
say.
point or full.
It don't matter to me. He's not scoring either way.
Either way.
You pick.
I'll pick half because it's half.
Half
All
point.
right.
Okay, but barring injury, either one.
Barring injury,
So
yeah.
either
If he
one
gets
guys
hurt,
just
all
say
right.
nothing,
If he
okay.
misses more than like 3
But if
games,
each one
we'll
plays
count.
the full season,
all right, full season.
Dalvin Cook.
Do you want
The
Or
Messiah's
here, or
got
the
Le'Veon
disclaimer,
Bell.
or if they both get hurt and somehow play the same amount of games, we'll still count it.
No, let's just do it.
All right.
Injury bars.
Just you never know. I'm just saying, what if they both miss 2
Curveballs.
games?
Read the fine print. dog.
You're the witness. You're the witness. So barring it, as soon as an injury happens to Dalvin Cook, the deal is off because that's what's happening.
Don't you put that on him, Ricky Bobby.
I'm talking about turf toe, bro. He can get turf toe. That fucking
All right,
guy.
anyway, so another handcuff. So another running back here. So we got Damian Harris from Alabama, running back. He goes to the Patriots. So just when you think like, hey, Sony Michel, he's the guy, going forward, we could take him. No, the Patriots are like, no, we're going to go draft the running back. And now we have Damian Harris, James White, Rex Burkhead, and Sony Michel.
And Andre Navarro.
So 5 running backs
Ignore that last one.
on the board.
We're gonna really people are gonna start looking up Andre Navarro.
They should. Special teams hero.
So what do you guys? What's your take on this guy here? I mean, every year the Patriots, like Mike was saying, he just stays away from them because they're just so inconsistent.
The only way you can draft a Patriots running back correctly is you do what Anthony's brother did last year, and he literally
all of them.
He drafted all of them, and which is so crazy, but also at the same time, it's like
It's strategic.
honestly, you're probably like one of them's gonna be good, so
For sure. So, I mean, the only thing I could think of, other than I don't know Sonny Michel, but he's had, I want to say 2 ACL surgeries. He's had two.
He's coming off a
Yes.
knee
Well,
surgery.
Well, he had one.
coming off an knee scope.
I'm
But
saying
he had
when
one in college,
No, I'm talking about
too.
in college. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to say he might have had 2, but I know he had one
think it was
major.
meniscus.
He had a major knee surgery for show.
Yeah, for sure.
So to me, it's like I think the other way. So if you're watching Sonny Michel and he's doing well, and you're like he should be the guy, and then they take this guy, so maybe they're thinking.
Yeah,
trying
but
to-
they're
his
smart,
health.
dude. That's
they're not. Yeah, they're
insurance,
trying. Yeah, they're
dude.
trying.
Like-
Exactly. They're trying to preserve him, but he's been doing well in training camp. Same thing. They like taking older dudes.
yeah.
That can pick, like guys that are just a little older, more mature, can pick up the playbook a lot more, which I'll talk about. Kyle Shanahan likes to do that too. He's really big on that. Just guys that can pick stuff up faster. And he I want to say he is a senior, maybe a junior. I know he's at least 22, 21 years old.
Who?
Damian Harris.
Oh,
He didn't come out early like that. So I mean, James White is gonna have a role. I mean, the dude catches balls left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
I don't know
say
why- I don't know why it sounded funny.
Zing with the nice
but,
legs.
No, but dude, you say that, but then the Patriots, they will ride off fucking running backs left and right, dude.
For
It'll
sure,
be
they do.
Rex Burkhead. who
Name
gets
the
all
past.
touch.
Name the past 3 years of running backs for Patriots.
I mean, like Garrett Blunt ran for 18 tugs.
That's
what,
what
3
I'm
years
saying.
ago?
Yeah,
The
that's what I'm saying.
the last running back I want to say that they rode was like Corey Dillon.
I was gonna say the same thing,
Bro, that's-
Right?
but that's what
like
I'm-
I actually rode him
Like he was out here, him and Lawrence Maroney, right?
That's what I'm getting at. Is that the Patriots are gonna
Yeah.
You don't know.
There's just so many.
They could get rid of Sony Michel in a second, dude.
Another guy.
and
I don't
you know what I'm
think they
saying?
like
Like
they drafted him first.
no,
sure.
but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that they'll get rid of. They'll
Game-
drop anybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's worth a handcuff.
They'll
Also.
They go with what will work for their team. Like that's
Week-
it.
and they're like
they
a
don't
week
give
by
a
week.
Exactly. They're like,
They-
oh, you practiced terrible this week. Okay, you're on the fucking bench.
I mean, they fucking benched Malcolm Butler for the Super Bowl, so
Bro,
and
I
then
saw-
they got absolutely fucking fried. So
I
good
also
for them.
saw a conspiracy theory about that, saying how like Bill Belichick like threw that Super Bowl and like all this stuff because he was pissed about the whole Jimmy Garoppolo thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because he wanted to keep
I
him.
heard
Yeah,
that.
He wanted to keep
it was
him.
this whole conspiracy theory.
I was
If
the one that
side
worked for the
note,
Niners on that trade.
There's a
Trade
video.
linked him.
I'll look up the video on YouTube really quick, but side note, if you're interested, there's a really good.
So you're a
YouTube
conspiracy theorist.
Well, no.
Why does Darrell Henderson look like a D tackle? He looks like Darnell Dockett.
It does.
For me, like going into the
Darrell
year,
Dockett.
I was really excited for Sony Michel though because he was getting like 15 to 20 touches every week, and he was performing really good at a high level. He was almost getting like 100 yards. I would say majority of the time, 2/3 of the time, he was getting at least 100 yards in a tug almost.
for sure, and he scored in the Super Bowl.
But now with the drafting of Damian Harris and then Rex Burkhead, who was hurt most of the year, he's full healthy again. They obviously like him there. This is kind of a whole Eagles situation for me again, where like I just don't want any piece of this. Like if one of these running backs emerges and they do good, like cool. But like I'm not trying to play Russian roulette and guess on what running back is going to hit. I mean, maybe if I could swoop him off the waiver wire and he hits for me, cool. But I don't know if I'm spending any draft capital on any Patriot running back because I just don't know. Like, do any of us really know? Like,
We don't know.
Two things. One,
You can't know.
Is there I was thinking about this earlier. I was smoking. Is there a league format for like a rookie slot? To where like you have like a league and then like you have to play a rookie every week because I feel like that'd be kind of dope.
no, I think it's
that would be sick.
Pat,
bro. The Messiah has spoken. Dog.
Zing! It was a blunt that I smoked. If you were wondering what it was that I was smoking, but I was just thinking, I was like, dog, is
We
there
don't
like a
drug
rookie
test
slot
over
where
here
you
on the Average Bros podcast. There's no drug testing
We
here.
have-
No
we have
doping.
No,
no
no,
PEDs.
no, it was a blunt of hope.
We
It was
know
hope. It was
Mike
a blunt
over
of
here.
hope.
He takes the extends.
He
No,
takes the
no
extend-
PEDs
extensies.
over
Dude,
here.
don't disrespect me
Dog,
like that.
it's the
Put my
LBD,
fucking
dog.
MS.
It's the LDB. I mean,
Yeah.
anyway, that's one thing I wanted to throw out there, and then
We should
start one?
Let's make an app, dude.
dude. Hey, actually, should we patent it so that if you do,
Average
we'll
Bros
fucking
Fantasy
sue your
Football?
bitch ass?
Yeah, we already patented it.
Patent,
Boom, 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 boom. I did
Nom,
it.
Hey,
nom, nom.
LLC it, rookie slots.
Yeah,
No, and then Damian Harris. I mean, the only value he really has is probably dynasty, just for the ones that are in it. I mean, you can hope that he pops and try to trade him next year for the next year's draft. That's pretty offensive heavy. They're saying there could be about 4 running backs in the first round of the actual draft, up to 6, which would be nuts. But so yeah, he's pretty much somebody you just hold on to and hope he does well, or hope somebody gets hurt. But I mean, no one wants to do that.
See, for me, I'm actually like just as a little different take on it is I actually like the pick of Damian Harris for Sony Michel in more of a standard to half point PPR because what I think it does is it's just going to lower his ADP. And I'm just looking at their schedule right now, and Sony Michel more than likely is going to be the workhorse early down back. Their schedule going into the Steelers week 1. Week 2, Miami. Week 3, the Jets. Week 4, the Bills. Week 5, the Redskins, the Giants, the Jets. I mean, that is like a Sony Michel setup for type of schedule. So in a standard league, if I can get Sony in like the 7th, 8th because of what's happening, I love that they draft him and put his value down because that's the Patriots run the ball when they are winning the games, and those games are games they're going to more than likely be in a positive game script.
For sure. It's a good point right there. Good point to point right there.
All right, really quick before we move on to the next guy, I just want to say for that documentary, that mini documentary, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's called Super Bowl 52. Did Belichick purposely throw the game? Just type that in on YouTube, and it's like the first thing that comes up. It's pretty interesting.
I
It's
remember
about Bill.
we talked about it one night.
We
for
talked about it a
while.
little bit, but like it's
I don't know if it was the last episode or if it was.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what, but it's like super interesting. If you watch it, you're like you watch it and you go,
Damn.
that motherfucker threw that game. So it's pretty
It's like every documentary.
So that means if you made the video, you're like, that was a good ass video.
Yeah, it was very convincing.
That convinced them now that I don't even like the Patriots
Truly.
either. So not only did you get me to watch a video about a team I don't care about,
Dude, it's all about like
you made me formulate an opinion.
they look at like camera angles of like the gestures Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were making to each other, like they weren't connecting at all, and like it was just this whole thing. Anyways, continue on.
For
Tyler,
sure.
navigate us.
All right. So Damian Harris, they kind of heard his stuff. So a couple other like honorable mention running backs. What you got over there, Messiah?
Well, I mean, AMAC.
Touch on him kind of.
I mean, we both agree on one guy. I mean, Bruce Williams. Go ahead, AMAC. Drop some knowledge.
Bruce Williams.
Is it Bryce? Oh, Bryce Williams. I said Bruce. Bryce.
No, I didn't say
for
Bryce
the Bucks.
It's Bruce Anderson.
Oh, you're right. It is Bruce.
But you don't even know his
Williams.
name.
From North Dakota State.
He totally
Here's-
gets run.
here's my-
It's
here's
Bruce
my-
That's how
Anderson, Bryce
undercover
Williams.
this guy is.
I fucked
is
it up,
that-
but I know what school he went to, so that's weird. Undrafted too.
Yeah, he was
So these are
undrafted.
just kind of some like honorable mention kind of players. You probably haven't really heard of them, but
Just
just some
think of
players
it-
that
use
could
the-
come out of nowhere. I mean, for instance, Philip Lindsay last year. Like nobody knew who the fuck
Literally
Philip Lindsay was.
nobody.
Arian
It was
Foster.
the Royce Williams, show, and then all of a sudden Philip Lindsay,
And
comes
that's-
out.
Everyone's a Williams. The
And
Bruce
I-
Williams.
I just want to say, that's
Rolls Royce Freeman.
Royce Williams.
listen.
It's such an easy name, Anderson.
All I want to say is that that's the main point of this rookie podcast is to kind of familiarize.
It's a no name. He's a no name.
Yeah, all these guys are like people you might not have even heard of. So we just want to put those names out there to
Put
get
those
them in your
names
head.
out here, bro. You're like, oh, hey, I heard that on the podcast. Boom, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's some
It's-
honorable mention names still here. So was it Bruce Anderson?
Yeah,
Is that what
so
it is?
just real quick is what I like to do is I'd like to look at situations where a job can be won in an offense And I mean, you could ask Tyler. I took Alvin Kamara in every single draft 2 years ago. I mean, you were in the same one. I had him as a keeper. And why is because I saw that there was a role to be won there. I saw that there was a Darren Sproles. Did I think he'd be Alvin Kamara top 5 pick? No, but there was a job to be won. There was Drew Brees, Sean Payton offense threw the running backs over 100 times, 100 targets a year. So I was like, there's a role to be won there. I kind of looked into, I mean, Kerryon was a lot higher, but I was like, this is a guy who could potentially win that starting job soon. And in this situation with Bruce Anderson is Peyton Barber, plotter. We know who he is. Ronald Jones, does he maybe take a step forward? Possibly, but he's not much of a pass catcher. So there was a role here to be had with Bruce Anderson, whether it's as a pass catching back or whether it's like we just said, Philip Lindsay, Alfred Morris, Arian Foster. He could be the guy that pops up out of nowhere and just gets. Bruce Arians has no ties to Ronald Jones.
None.
He didn't draft him.
Right.
So, and if he can't pass
he's like,
catch,
I came here and this guy's here.
Yeah, this is just a quick name to know, but this is like so kind of just like if you're doing your own fantasy research, look for like a situation where there's not a clear starter or the starters aren't good, and they could lose their job to the third string running back or fourth string running back.
For sure. And
then you're gonna look like a fucking literally you will look like a messiah when they go to pick
You'll
up
be the
this
messiah
guy.
of your league.
Then when they go to pick up this guy in week 2 or 3,
and he starts balling,
and he's already on your team, and you're like, what the fuck? How does he already have him? It's like
Like when I
'cause
drafted
I'm
Alvin
not
Kamara,
ready.
people were
Balls.
like, "Who the fuck is that?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it."
And on top of that, he's in an offense where they value the running back position with Bruce Arians, where he had David Johnson, and this dude is getting those comparisons from Bruce Arians. So I mean, that only helps because I mean, whether he got drafted or not, like he was saying, he's in a situation where there's a new coach and there's no bias towards any certain player, so it's all based on performance. And I mean,
and you're a Niners fan, so Matt Breida, he worked out in the offseason with the same trainer or some of the training, and the guy was like, he's basically like a bigger Matt Breida. Yeah. And you saw what Matt Breida did with the Niners. I mean, he's been an explosive back.
Yeah,
he had 5.5 yards per carry. I think he had the most rushes over 20 yards in the NFL, past Saquon, past like Alvin Kamara. So I mean, if this guy worked with both of them and is comparing him to a bigger Matt Breida, and if he actually is,
and he's saying David Johnson,
if he's in the line of those two guys, I mean, there's a potential for a huge breakout in this offense. Not breakout, but at least a value in the last pick.
100%. And in Dynasty can 100% change your team because if you can get any running back that early or that early in their career, you're solid.
Yeah, I mean, these are the types of picks where you take these guys and they can win you your league.
Yeah, for sure. They put you in the next level. I have one more. I don't even know how to say his damn name, but I've been watching him. I don't know if it's Karan Higdon, but he's a running back for the Texans.
How do you spell it?
First name Karan, last name Higdon. Same thing. He's in a situation. He's size 5'9", 5'10" is what they say.
5'10", 203.
Yeah, same thing situation. I mean,
Michigan.
you have Lamar Miller, who's depending. I mean, I want to say he's in his last year, and then you have Deontay Foreman coming back from like that Achilles from really 2 years ago.
Yeah, but dude, are you gonna
really
want a fucking Texans running back with that O line that they haven't worked on at all?
Well, depending on the league you're in. We're just talking about guys that can be slept on. I mean, he's a rookie, and
honorable mentions.
Yeah, he just has a clearer path than a lot of rookies.
He could surpass Deontay Foreman because I mean, Achilles injuries. No one really ever. I've like when I first started listening to shit like years ago, like someone brought that up, and I paid attention to Achilles injuries, and like no one ever comes back the same from Achilles injuries. They really
especially
don't.
a heavy running back like Foreman, who's like more of like a power guy.
Yeah, maybe like a linebacker or something, but like these backs and receivers, they just don't come back the same.
Yeah. You have to
Richard
cut.
Sherman.
Yeah, but he's a DB. He doesn't have to go full. You know,
Right.
anything with like explosive cutting.
Right, sure.
So I mean, and like I said, for a rookie, a shot in the dark. This is just like a dart throw. I mean, you never know as far as
like he could potentially, in a sense, like Jay's saying, is like he could win a role where he's maybe in a timeshare with Lamar Miller, but he's getting maybe goal line work or he's getting pass catching work, and maybe he's this late round running back. You know the name, you see week 1 he gets snaps, and you go out and pick him up.
Look, man,
especially with that name.
As much as people shit on Lamar Miller, and like as much as like that motherfucker would drive me nuts every week.
Well, it sounds like you hate on Lamar Miller a lot. You just called him a motherfucker and what else?
Yeah. But because he's fucked me a couple times. But anyways, but listen, like as much as I don't like Lamar Miller, like he if you look at him overall, like year by year, he actually puts up like half decent numbers.
You know what he is? He's like a girl that's like,
right.
like sometimes you step out, she's cool.
And she got that right outfit on. and you're like, oh.
And then sometimes
yeah.
you're like, yo, where did you get that from? Like, go back inside.
I mean, the Texans.
And like,
Sorry.
that's Lamar Miller. That's
No,
it.
I mean that's not too far off, to be honest.
I mean, the Texans were trying to like low key phase him out a little bit. They started putting Alfred Brew. Alfred Brew. It's went Asian on us.
Well, to be
Went from,
honest,
like-
too, if you remember, I think Lamar Miller had like a voodoo doll. But if you remember, Deontay Foreman basically stole that job on that like 80-yard run. Remember, and then he tore his Achilles on that run.
On the end zone.
I was like, oh, he's about to take that job, and he's like, he scored a touchdown and tore his Achilles. Lamar Miller's like, yo, good shit.
He's like, hey.
Did the Buffalo Wild Wings call? Sprinkler popped up.
Yeah. He's like, hey, I need you to turn this dude's Achilles. I'm about to not get paid. Wham. So I mean,
so that's not too. I mean,
But
look,
it's kind of it touches up to what I said a second ago, and Dre like brings up the name too. Is like there's a role that could possibly be
just
had
maybe.
there. Just maybe. It's not a guarantee, but you got to look for those situations.
And they have a clear path in like a lot of other running back situations.
Yeah, like you look at those sort of random team like Seattle. Like there's no one passing Chris Carson or Rashad Penny. Like
keep that name in your.
Well,
in
like
your head.
here's an example. If someone 3 years ago, maybe you want to say 2 for sure. Aaron Jones, like who was Aaron Jones? I mean, he was good, but he didn't just take the
Right.
job. Like there was a job to be won that there was like Jamal Williams and like who else was there?
Who was in front of it? Was it
Ty Montgomery was there.
Ty
before.
Montgomery and somebody else that
and
wasn't
that's
good.
the point. That there was a job to be
They're
won
just
there.
a bunch of ball carriers, and here comes Aaron Jones and just fucking snags him up.
Right.
And he was a pickup in Dynasty. He wasn't even rostered. My boy picked him up.
Yeah.
Hella mad. Same dude that picked up Philip Lindsay. Hella mad.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Like you said, we're just trying to throw some names
Yeah.
here. We're
So
trying to find the
Karen
next
Higdon. We
Philip
might be saying that
Lindsay.
wrong.
You know what I'm
So-
saying? So,
So if you win your Dynasty League with some of these players, come holler at us.
yeah, for sure.
We want our
So,
royalties.
for sure. So that was the quarterbacks. That's gonna be the first half of the rookies. So that was the quarterbacks and the running backs. So we're gonna drop the next episode. You know, listen to the next episode. We're gonna go over all the wide receivers and tight ends.
You could have
But
turned.
yeah. Just check us out on Instagram, @AverageBros_fantasy football, Twitter, Stitch, all those things. What is it, Mike? You
All right,
Hey,
listen.
if it's from the East Coast,
Listen,
it's
man.
fucking switch.
If you're listening to audio, go check us out on iTunes, man. We're there. Check us out on Spotify, on Stitcher. We're literally on any type of audio platform for podcast, Spotify, all of those things. And now, if you want to check out and see our glorious faces, go to YouTube. We're right there. Average Bros Fantasy Football. Fucking look it up, idiot. Or check the description down below.
Yeah.
Look us up on something else and then find us on YouTube. All right.
I mean,
Figure it out.
He's got a bow tie on.
And here's the thing. If you missed us there, go check out our Instagram, @AverageBros_fantasy football. We're right there. And
The fuck you doing?
If you want to really not reach us, hit us up on Twitter because we're not very active on Twitter.
Actually, you can hit my Twitter handle. My Twitter handle is actually tweets by Dre. And I'm not kidding. That really is my Twitter handle.
All right. Hit up our boy.
It's
Tweets by Dre.
it's actually _tweets 3 E's.
Our rookie correspondent.
Because I think someone took the 2, but and then it's an _by_Dre. Guadalajara. I'm
Bro,
there.
this sounds very complicated.
Yeah,
But
it's like
listen.
It's just 3 E's. If you know how to spell tweets by Dre, it's just 3 E's with underscores in between.
Okay, there we go.
For sure. Well, all right, listen.
Wait.
Check out the other episode. Like I said, we're gonna go over the wide receivers and tight ends in that one.
All right, sounds
Appreciate
good.
you guys for listening.
Thank you.
More beer bets to come.
Ah.